Talented pianist KaJeng Wong first performed on the international stage when he was very young, and has won many competitions. He earned great acclaim as a piano prodigy when he was profiled in the documentary KaJeng Music and Life, released in 2009. Now 27 years old, Wang is artistic director at Music Lab, his studio in Yamate, where Style caught up with him recently for a chat. What have you been doing since KaJeng Music and Life was first aired? I have been back in Hong Kong for 4 years. I have established my institution, Music Lab, and organize local music festivals, Music Lab festivals, and curate different types of programs for different audiences. I teach, perform and also write music, and host programs. What was the response to the documentary of those closest to you? I rarely talk about the documentary with my friends or family. It's just something that happened. One of the challenges is to know yourself better in times like these, and it has been a very interesting experience. It's also interesting to consider that this documentary was filmed almost 10 years ago. So for me it has been an interesting ride. In today's economic and political climate, how do you feel about being a young artist in Hong Kong? I think it's very exciting, especially if you open your eyes to everything. In the arts, there are a lot of things happening. In the non-arts world, in politics, there is so much happening, and so much can be linked and inspiring to what we do as artists. How would you describe your practicing style? For how many hours a day do you practice? I have a unique practicing style, because, and I'm only talking about now, I have worked out the major part of what I know about how to play the piano. A lot of practicing comes from being away from the piano when I am listening to a recording. Actually, it's more about preparing myself for practice. It's not about practicing to learn to play. I go to the piano and I know exactly what to do. Sometimes, and this is very controversial, I don't recommend it, I do other things when I practice. I can watch a movie when I practice. I can read a book when I practice. Now that I've reached a different phase, it's not about learning how to play, it's about finding the best way to realize what you want to do. KaJeng Wong, music prodigy, says Hong Kong is a goldmine for classical artists. So you are a multitasker. I shouldn't be, but sometimes I can't not be. Ideally I should be very focused. So I try to do less of other things and focus on one thing. You have a friendly relationship with Mont Blanc. How does the brand's philosophy resonate with you? First of all, Mont Blanc has a history of closely working with artists. My manager told me he was obsessed with pens. He loves the pen collections of great composers like Brahms and Schumann, and he collects all of them. He always brags about these beautiful pens. I'm not really into pens, but I can appreciate how beautiful they are. And there have been other wonderful artists, like famous pianist Lang Lang and actor Hugh Jackman, who are friends of the brand. They are my inspirations. You can imagine how honored I was, and the great pleasure I felt when I got a call from Mont Blanc about having a collaboration. Award-winning musician Shu One Pen makes time for connecting with people. You mentioned that you have a great interest in watches and shoes. I remember as a child, my mom discovered that I love watches and she bought me a couple that I really like. As I was growing up, my father gave me a watch each year as a birthday present for 3 consecutive years. He may have forgotten that he had given me one the year before. But I learned something about watches. First of all, it's not only about how I feel wearing a watch. It's about remembering who gave it to me, and perhaps why they gave me that particular watch, and whether I liked them giving me that watch. I love watches so much I am very picky about which one I will wear. For me, this is true about not only watches, but also about shoes, about everything else that I wear. I don't care. I have a saying that if a girl gives you a watch, and it's a watch you must have, then she should be the girl you marry, because she must really know you.